Maybe do it this way. Okay, there we go.
Okay.
Right. So I'll go ahead and share my screen. I'll go ahead and share my screen.
Okay.
And what we've done is actually, I'm sorry here. What we've done is actually, like I said, I've conducted a site audit that looks at a number of on-page factors. It does a competitive analysis in terms of our keywords and some of the competition in your area. I look
Okay.
at their keywords, their content, and we put all this together, and then we assess where we're at with your current site. And then
Okay.
I develop a plan of, all right, how do we get there? So diving right into our audit, and these documents will also be available to you
Okay.
in your drive. So I'll make
Okay.
sure that you have access to that because we put all of our reporting and all that good stuff in those shared drives as well. So
Okay. Great. Yeah. Okay.
mm-hmm. So like I said, we conducted an audit, and first thing we look at is like your authority. This compiles all of your content. It looks at some ranking factors. It looks at the backlinks to your current site, so on and so forth. So not the best results that we typically
Yeah.
see. We're
Yeah.
sitting around 13. That's pretty low
I know.
for a personal injury or an attorney
Yeah.
site. So no worries. That
Was
is.
that also for the family law or just for the personal injury site?
I focused our analysis on the injury attorney Florida.com.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, because there's several different websites.
There are several.
Yep.
This one seemed to be in the best of shape, not just looking at one factor of domain authority, but kind of looking at the trustworthiness of Google, how the crawlers kind of pick up that content, and all those associations. So I'd be more than happy to take a look at the other domains and assets as well. But
Okay.
my understanding was we were going to drive with this domain.
Well, I still need to have, family law stuff coming in, so I don't know if you want to add it to that or what are we doing with the other ones. Like I said, it's still kind of like my bread and butter, but there's 3 different websites. So, I still need marketing for a family law because it's what I do for a living with, doing away with it eventually once I have enough business for personal injury. But I can't have my family law business die in the meantime.
No, exactly. This is going to be building off of what we currently have going on. So, and this strategy would apply to your other domains. It's just I would have to plan a new kind of how-to, if you will. And I would suspect.
Or we're going to consolidate. Like, I don't know why there's 3 of them. It's just kind of ridiculous. But, I just need to know what the heck we're doing with them because I just, I don't, they're competing against each other. So, or do you have to market separately for them? So in other words, if you're doing family law and personal injury, does that just, they're not mutually exclusive? Do you just have to, the idea I think was that you have to have one only for personal injury and one only for divorce. And then I don't even know how the other one, is out there. So.
Sure. And that's something that we probably wouldn't recommend, in this time frame. We would definitely recommend a consolidating that content. That's going to have a more driving force for you. And just kind of just delineating your content according to your practice. That'll make the management a lot easier for you. And then you're just dealing with one domain and one site. So ultimately, we want to get you there for sure. But again, there's definitely, we can definitely provide a valuable service to you and some valuable visitors working on this on a fragmentation basis until we get to the point where we can say, let's consolidate all 3 domains, let's take all this content here and really figure out the strategy around the best way forward and the most efficient way to do it so it's cost efficient for you and time efficient for us.
Okay.
So again,
Perfect.
my strategy would apply to just about any domain that you have, but I focused our change strategy based on the injury attorney Pasco, Florida.
Okay.
So really looking here, and again, I would suspect I would see very similar things across the other two domains.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, the way, if one person's managing it and you look at one domain, you see some issues, I typically see that across everything they've been working on. So looking here, this is your homepage, what we call a title tag. This is really important. This identifies really what you want to focus on in terms of your practice. Another key factor is to really align this with the content that's on that particular page. This is kind of out of line. As you see, we have St. Pete and Clearwater. Even though Clearwater is an area that you want to focus on, I don't believe St. Pete is. And the way St. Pete is structured here, this can be misconstrued for a lot of locations other than St. Petersburg, Florida. So it's kind of a nickname, if you will, or a tag name for a city. And I don't recommend doing that with geofencing, as they call it, with title tags. So opportunity here in terms of your tagging, again, we align that with the areas of law that you want to practice in, and we also align that with the content on the particular page. That's going to have the most exponential impact or beneficial impact for you in terms of getting in front of those searches. Same thing with the meta tag description. I do not recommend a phone number in there. Crawlers typically truncate this after 163 characters, which is way over. And there's a lot of just ambiguous terms here, like slip and fall. Yeah, that's applicable, but you got to think about a Google crawler. It's going to take it for the literal sense of slipping and falling. So it may align you with some anti-skid products, or it may. It may.
Yeah.
And then, like I see wrongful death. Well, that's a little strong, and that might have some flags there too. So
that's what I was mad at, because when I looked at the campaign and the ones that they had assigned to me were like, these are, some of these weren't even applicable to me. So I was like, yeah, y'all don't know what you're doing, because this is not even what I'm looking for.
It looks like they were just kind of stuffing this for keyword purposes, and that's great. I'm sure they could show session over session, month over month increases in terms of traffic, but really we want to focus on what's converting, and we want to get you relevant traffic that has a higher propensity to convert. Like I said, I'd rather give you 500 visitors that have a 50% chance of converting and that are relevant. That's going to have a higher propensity to convert to a client, versus we plow through 12,000 visitors and you get 1% of them, and you get all these crazy phone calls that have nothing to do with anything. So really,
does that dumb you down, or does that just help your traffic when you're getting a lot of? I mean, does it help like your ranking if you're getting traffic like that?
Typically, no.
Question,
no. Okay. It used to. Back in the days when there were very minimal rules, and when it came to SEO, the more backlinks you had, the more traffic, the better. But now that we have relevancy filters, and we have constant updates to the algorithm, and Google is really putting an emphasis on quality, and they want their visitors to find what they're looking for efficiently. And the ones that figure it out, they get rewarded with higher rankings because it's a better quality site, and it matches the query to the content of the page. So that's how it's morphed. That's how it's changed over the years. Yeah. So with that said, you can see how we have a ton of opportunity going through your title tags and your meta tag descriptions. Just aligning that with the proper content that's on the page, simultaneously aligning that with the areas of law that you want to practice and focus on.
Okay.
So that's our first 30 days, really going through all of your pages, making sure that there's something called a character max and a pixel max on all these tags. So we want to make sure that we're within standards. This is important. This is another ranking factor that's important. So as we're going through and making sure that we're relevant and accurate in terms of the content in the title tag and meta tag description, we also want to make sure that we're also in line with the technical standards and protocol as well.
Yeah, so basically, it looks like, in other words, when people are looking on their phone or whatever, it doesn't look very good, right?
Well, in the search results, this would all be truncated. So you might see personal injury and accident attorney, Wendy Doyle, ...
Oh my God.
right?
Awful.
And that doesn't really represent, that
looks unprofessional.
Yeah, it's a missed opportunity, to be honest with you. That's the best way I could put it. So, and the same thing with your meta tag descriptions. We want to be very, very accurate. We want to focus on the areas of law that you want to practice and attract new potential clients. And we definitely don't want to do anything gimmicky in here and put like just a random county in here. And I mean, I get what they were trying to do, but it's just kind of not the best way to do it.
And it hasn't been efficient, so that proves.
And I'm overly nice, so I mean,
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, but I haven't gotten. I mean, like maybe there was. I mean, maybe like 2 cases in a year for personal injury off of Google.
Right, and you can see why, because you're probably ranking very, very low, deep in the search. I know you are. I conducted So again, that would be our first 30 days is going through all of your tags, your meta tag descriptions. I also looked at some on-page elements in terms of our headlines, if we're using proper structure for H1 or H2s and H3s. And then I want to make sure that the crawler can easily navigate the page. It can pick up the content, the tags, and any of our scripting that we include on that page so that it is digest well by Google servers, and they get a better understanding of what it is that we're trying to do and the content that we're publishing.
Okay.
So looking at some off-page factors, these are some good things. You had very few broken links or anything broken within that domain, so that's good. There were definitely some management going on there. So we'll go ahead and correct these.
Okay.
And again, with whatever domain that we decide to optimize or to run with, I'll conduct the same audit, and I'm gonna include that in everything that we've done. So just be an additional to this, because I know we have some issues. We have some questions on where we're gonna go and which domain, right?
Yeah.
Once we get over that hurdle, like I said, I'll do another complete scan. But looking at this, I would, again, assume that the other links on the other sites are in pretty good shape too. So I wouldn't expect a high amount of broken links on those other domains.
Well, at least they were doing something, so that's good news.
Exactly, right. That's a positive sign that they were at least fixing the stuff that was broken or the linkage in the back end. So that's great. Same thing with our 404. You notice that they're the same number. So I assume that maybe there's some old pages, or there were some pages in a dev environment that got published and they're kind of broken now. So this is an easy fix, so no worries there. Some other good elements, when your site loads in under 3 seconds, around 2.15. So that's well under the 5-second threshold for desktops. It is above 2, but it's under 3 for mobile. So you're really in good shape in terms of the load time. Of course, we always like to improve load time because the faster the better. But again, you want to look at it in terms of efficiency. I look at it, if we spend 10 hours on your account and we lower it 0.1 seconds, what kind of impact does that have for you? And is that really worth the time spent? So we kind of look at it from that aspect moving forward. But really good to see that right off the bat. Where some areas that you're lacking. So we have something called JavaScripting or Schema. Schema has opened up throughout the last couple of years in terms of the availability, the customization, and the available fields that you have. Essentially, it's a piece of code that communicates with Google that really says, hey, this is what this is. Here's the area that we want to target. Here's the specific audience that we're trying to reach. And that's just lacking on your site. And that was to be expected because this is pretty state-of-the-art stuff. It's relatively new in terms of the updates and the available features that we have with deploying structured data and schema. So once we get our page elements down in terms of our title tag, meta tag description, and then some of the technical elements, looking at the H1s, H2s, and H3s, the next step would be develop a customized structured data specifically for your domain, for your site, and that targets the areas that you want to target.
Okay.
That's going to have a exponential impact in terms of your visibility, and that will also render your Google search engine reviews within the meta tag descriptions on the Google search return, on the Google search results.
Okay.
We call it, if you ever see some sites that have like 5 stars under their,
yeah,
that's what I'm talking about. So we'll be able to actually get that to render within the search results, which has a very, very big impact in terms of catching the eye and leading to a click. Right.
Yeah, because I kind of look for that when I'm doing searches, to tell you the truth.
Well, I don't want the 5 stars to really be the root cause of the click. I want it to be a part of it. So, you know, the title tag is going to be compelling because they're like, wow, that's exactly what I'm looking for. The meta tag description is going to have a well-written description, and within there you're going to have 5 stars, and they're going to be like, that's it. It's got 5 stars. You know, the brain is making connections here, and that leads to a click. So there is a science behind it, and it does work. So we'll be engaging in that. And then going through, I didn't see too many, with your images, there's something called an alt text. So screen readers can't really look at a picture and know what it is. They go by an alt text. Image search is not going to be a big area for you, but I like to diversify our search results. So that includes being present within the image, being present within the traditional search, and so on. Okay. And then the last part of my audit just goes through, again, why our tag analysis is the way it is. This is actually pulled from the search results. So as you see, we just see your name, and there's the truncation identified by the 3 dots. We also have that truncation in the meta tag description. And as you see, the last thing it says is Pasco County. So if I were to search for this, I would say, hey, this is in Pasco County, and
I'm not looking at a screen or anything because I'm not on a.
Oh,
screen.
I do forgot. I am sorry.
Yeah. So I know what you're pointing to. So I'm following you. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Wendy. I do forget.
That's right.
You're just on
okay.
So what I did is I went into the search results and I grabbed your actual page that's within the Google search results. Okay.
Okay.
And then I pasted it within this report, so you can kind of see how it truncates on the title tag and meta tag description.
Oh, okay. So like if I go into the Thrive account thing, I'll be able to see all this at some point and check and just look at it for my own knowledge and knowing what's going on.
Correct. And if you want me to send this to you or share this with you, I'd be more than happy to do so as well.
I'll just look at it like when I have time to really sit and digest it.
Fantastic. So that
I'm following you though.
Okay, great. And if you have any questions,
somewhat, as much as I can.
I try not to be overly technical.
Like me, yeah, it's like you're speaking a foreign language, but
I do it to my wife all the time, and she's just like, "Oh man, just stop." I don't. I lost.
My husband is now like a lawyer, but it's taken him a while to get there.
That's awesome. But all good things. What this really amounts to, Wendy, is we have a lot of opportunity. You have really good trustworthiness with Google, so that's really positive. So once we make these changes and we steer it in the correct direction, that's in line with your goals, we're going to see a tremendous impact from this, and we're going to see a lot more relevancy. And the phone calls are, like I said, I don't necessarily want to drive more traffic. I want to drive the right traffic and then scale.
Yeah. I just need accidents that occur, current accidents. And I think one of the things might help on the web page is, I will personally handle your case, because a lot of these law firms around here have a bunch of associates, but I don't. I'm just, I'm not going to, I don't want to be a conveyor belt where I'm just having a bunch of associates work on cases. So if there's a way to add that, that may help.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I think that's also there's a couple attorneys in this area that are marketing. I remember hearing a commercial ad, and he would say, "Make sure it's the ask the attorney if they're filing it." So
that's me. That's my ad.
Is that your ad?
Yeah. Did you hear somebody say that?
I swear I did.
Because there's nobody else has been advertising that. I just started that on my thing, on my website.
It was almost like, no, it wasn't. That wasn't their headline. I would say within the ad, they said, ask the attorney if they're the ones filing your case. And then when you said that on our first meeting, the light bulb went off like, I've heard this before from another attorney, but I knew that probably, I mean, but it was more conversational. It wasn't. Oh,
that's interesting because
I'll find it.
I haven't seen that advertised anywhere because most of them don't file their own lawsuits.
And I want to say it was like Kirkland and Kirkland, which I'm surprised they filed a lawsuit themselves.
Yeah, not when it's a big firm, like when they're just really trying to do the conveyor belt thing, they just literally have to get them in and get them out.
I took some notes when I heard it, so I thought of you when I heard it, and I was like, I think someone's very interested to hear this. So I'll
and also and also focusing on the website, like I will personally handle your case. That's
important. That's important because the lines of communication, and when you get to speak with your hired counsel directly, that's really
what I would want.
Right? I mean, you're paying a lot of money, or you're
a lot of money,
yeah. So
and there's no reduction for just associates handling your it's the same percentage. It's 33% of whatever we recover, 40% if we file a lawsuit.
Right.
They're big numbers.
Oh yeah.
If y'all guys can keep this conversation going, I am writing my ads listening to you guys. So.
Oh, Sean. Okay. Well, I'm just about finished with my 30, 60, and then, like I said, the structured data, and then, of course, we do some continual audits and some check-ins to make sure we're on the right path along the way. But that essentially is the first.
Now, is that the Google campaign too, or that's just the organic results, right?
This is just SEO, right? Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then what about the Google campaign?
Yep. Yep. I'm going to kick it over to Sean, and he's going to go over this portion of the.
Perfect.
Yep.
Sorry to jump. Okay.
No, you're fine.
So I'm sharing my screen, my screen for the video when you go back and look at the recording, and I'm going to be honest. I'm not going to be nearly as nice as Mike about the previous company.
Yeah, no, I was really angry when I saw it. Yeah, I was like,
So there's nothing of value there, so I'm scrapping it.
Nothing, zero. I know.
Yep. It's going to be completely scrapped. I mean, I can help you work on your horse wedding one as well if you need me to.
By what?
I saw you had 2 campaigns. You had one for like a horse wedding or like barn wedding.
Oh my God, I don't know. I never know that one. We don't do weddings anymore on the farm.
I got you. You used to have a campaign for it.
I don't know who started that. That's weird. Maybe I tried to. Yeah, I don't even know what I was doing.
That's not a problem. I was making it. So what I did, I have a couple ideas. So I built a vague initial one, and then I'm going to I've got 3 different strategies in my mind. Based on how we go through it, I'm going to go over each one, let you kind of hear the pros and cons, and then we'll kind of decide from there. The first question, I'm not advertising for family at all, correct?
No, not for the Google ad campaign. Organic stuff I do need it, but I usually always rank pretty easily with family law. It's not as competitive, and I have a really strong reputation in family law. I mean, I've been doing it for a long time. People don't know me in personal injury enough yet.
Gotcha. All right. So we're going to basically start everything pretty fresh, and I'm just going to go through a standard one, and then I'm going to break out the 2 I really want to look at for you. Basic idea of our campaign: we're looking to get personal injury laws for your company in the North Pinellas area. Main performance factors that we're going to be looking for your campaign: clicks, click-through rate, cost per click, PPC performance metrics. Those are standard. What I'm really looking to achieve is calls for personal injury. I tend to find people that call versus forms are more likely to convert.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be pushing.
Oh yeah, for accident cases, definitely, right?
Yep, absolutely. They're going to be calling immediately.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have more questions going toward that call side as we get through it. PPC it's a little bit more straightforward than SEO is ever going to be. So I'm going to try and speak that way. Our standard is we're going to look at search only right now. I don't want to touch display or remarketing. There's generally not a lot of value in it. And I think I've worked with a little over 2,600 different lawyers throughout the United States now. Remarketing's never been truly successful unless you have a $50,000 a month budget. And
for what kind?
Remarketing, that's people that have visited your site before and then re-show them the ad 100 times, basically, on different websites. The best, most people for personal injury are first-time visitors calling you more often than not.
Okay.
And that's where the search campaign comes in and works the best.
Okay.
So we're going to
for Google Ads, you mean?
Yes, ma'am. Google.
Okay.
I'm going to refer. So for me, whenever I refer to search, I'm only referring to Google Ads for you. And Mike will always refer to search as organic.
Gotcha. Okay.
I'm sorry about that.
No, it's okay.
And then, so I'm going to also monitor like standard market changes. My big thing in the first part of the campaign is I'm going to be watching what your competitors are kind of doing, seeing how they're bidding, kind of watching what they're doing. In the first 30 days, I'm going to set up the new campaign. I'm always going to be looking for new opportunities. Like I said, I've worked with a lot of lawyers. I have my ideas in place. I know what's successful already.
Okay.
I used to be basically pigeonholed for lawyers only, and I finally broke out of that a little bit, but I still take every lawyer that comes to us.
Oh, good. Okay, good. You know this then. That's great.
Yep. And that's why I'm going to have the split out here at the bottom. So I'm going to set up some new campaigns. I got the keywords already built out. I have 2 campaigns already kind of laid out already. It just depends on which one you want to decide. I will implement it, and then I'll build out the ads for it.
Okay.
In the first 30 days, I'm going to be doing the market research. I've fly-food most of your competitors already in the general area, and I'm going to build negative lists based on every one of those competitors because there's no reason. I know a lot of clients like to show up for their competitors' names. There's really no reason in personal injury lawyer. It's one of the lowest conversion rates to show up for another personal injury lawyer's name.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're generally, if they're looking for a person by name, they're either referred by
That's who they want. Yeah.
So it never generally works. I am going to work with Mike a lot on the landing pages, just because I need to know what keywords we're mainly focusing on it for my quality scores. So this is one of the big things I'm going to be working back and forth with Mike on. And we're going to look at the different landing pages so I can make sure that I'm putting the right keywords going to the right landing page. It helps my quality score, which decreases cost, which cost is a very big issue with personal injury. One of the more expensive campaigns you can run. I'm hoping that's the reason that the campaign was run the way it was, but he just literally just threw every keyword associated with lawyers in that campaign.
I know, and I saw that, and I was like, "What are you doing?" And I'll get calls for and I was wondering why I kept telling him I'm getting calls for for malpractice and workers' comp. I don't do those areas. Okay, and then I look in the Google Inc. and I'm like, well, no wonder. I don't. That's not what I'm looking for. But and that's a waste of money. That's my money. I mean, he's never told me. It just was a waste. I think.
Unfortunately, again, I'm not going to be as nice to me. It was a waste of money. There's no ifs and buts about what that campaign was. First 30 days, I looked at the audience data. It's again, there's no data I can pull from what it was. I have audience data I know works in this area. I have match types that work in this area. I've got the competitor list. I work. I'm going to work for you in that way. You will have so much of a better experience with us. But I'm going to have to set. I'm going to have to set some expectations at the bottom just to make sure we're on the same page. And that's in the first 30 days. That's what we're kind of doing. And then the 60 to 90, and this is, by the way, I'm still going over the general stuff. 60 to 90 days, I'm going to be working on your ad copy on a continuous basis. Of course, I'm always going to run it by you. And when you were talking to Mike about your features, like I will personally file your case. I'll personally handle it, deal personally with Wendy Palm. That stuff, fantastic stuff for ads. So if you come up with any more of that stuff, anything that really sets you apart, what you use to sell yourself to clients is what I need to put in place. So
because I think like most of these firms, any of these bigger firms in particular, they have all these associates, and and I'm over here handling my cases personally, and I want to keep it that way. Tell you the truth, I don't want to have associates. I don't want to do that.
Gotcha. Well, like I said, when they call, they're going to know who's going to work on the case, and that stuff I'm going to write into your ads. Like, hey, when you call, you know who's working on your case. You calling Wendy.
Yeah.
60 to 90 days. This is where I'm really going to probably be able to gain true insight into your campaign. This is where I'm going to see the audience data that I need to do, see the time of days that are really working for your area. I'm going to be able to see demographically what to target in your area. If it's male or female that's calling more often or not. It honestly, personal injury tends to be more female in the 20 to 45 range. Tends to pop up a lot, but 65 and plus shows up on occasion too. But I'll have to see how your area affects it, because every area is slightly different. Every area is going to be, like, I know the heart of Tampa, I can't target Tampa and Clearwater and get the same exact thing, for example.
Well, yeah, well, because different people live in different areas.
Yep. So every area is a little bit different.
Yep.
So after that 60 days, I'm expecting to see the increase in leads. The strategic plan of action will continuously change as we grow, and we'll continually monitor for quality scores, which is, like I said, very big deal with personal injury. So heavily, especially as the SEO on-page SEO goes on, your campaign is going to improve quality score-wise as well. Click-through rates matter. Average lead cost is also going to be something I'll be monitoring on a consistent basis.
Do you know what the average lead cost is now?
I'm getting ready to get into that, actually.
Okay.
The campaign setup's going to take about a week.
Okay.
So this is where.
Oh, that's right. You have to do a new one. That's right.
Yep. Yeah, it's brand new. I have it kind of built. It's more me getting the right ads in there. I have two different ones built, and I'm going to go over each one.
Gotcha.
And I'll tell you the pros and cons. Average lead cost for a personal injury lawyer is $300.
Okay.
And the two different campaigns are this. So one we're going to start off with is an extremely tight campaign. This is the one based off of your concerns from the previous company. It's a campaign that focuses on phrase and exact match keywords, still big negative keyword list. General cost per click is much higher though. We're talking probably $90 to $120 a click, but these are people absolutely looking for what you want to show to them.
Okay.
You're not going to pull anybody that's searching lawyer in area. So like if they just type
looking
in
for auto accident, right?
Yeah, but that's the reason the cost is 90 to 120 a click, or 80 to 120 a click. That's the reasoning behind that. For the other one, it's almost the exact opposite now. This is where my negative keyword list that I built up over the thousands of lawyers I've worked with really comes into play. I'm able to run stylized campaigns, and instead of running the match type to be the filter, I run negatives to be the filter and let the match type pull in cheaper clicks. So I could run keywords like auto accident lawyer on a broader sense instead of having it to where it has to be that. I can run that and it still pull people in as long as they have the gist toward it. And using 1,300 keyword, or actually I think my negative list is 8,000 now. 8,000 negative keywords. I block out a lot of the stuff. Like I go through and make sure every other type of law that you don't do is never going to show up on this campaign. So they type in divorce lawyer. I know you do divorce law, but for example, if they type in divorce lawyer in Pinellas, you won't show up for that. But if they just type in lawyer in Pinellas, which people that search lawyer more often than not are searching for a personal injury lawyer. It's the most common search. Yeah, most common type of law search for. So
I've always said it was people are looking on the internet, you know.
Yep, they absolutely are.
I'm going to get on the billboards. I'm still working towards that, but I'm just trying to figure out exactly. I think what I want to put out there is, you know, the personal attention kind of thing. I think that might be good enough to get out there.
Yep. So the things that convert the most with the lawyers, one is years of experience. Two, the next thing people look at is if you have courtroom experience or litigation experience, which I know you do.
Yes, I do. Lots of it.
Yep. I remember that from the kickoff call. So I was like, yep, this is getting easier and easier. This is stuff that you want to get on your website eventually. Like if you have like a case history, I have a client that does like very brief case history. So like what she did, like what the case was about. So this is a military lawyer. Client was being court-martialed for so-and-so. This is what a lawyer did for client. This is the result. Just like a quick case result page. It works really well. It sells you as a lawyer. The personal attention sells you as a lawyer. The litigation experience really sells you. Like you're willing to go fight the insurance company and not just take a settlement.
Oh, you better believe it. I love to sue them.
So,
I always get 5 times the amount that they offer originally.
there you go. That's the
yes,
best way.
Hold on, I'm sorry. Just make sure you take her driver's license, take a copy of her driver's license, and then you can give her a check. Thanks. Okay, go ahead.
So I was going to say something like, and I just have to run it by you because I do pull a lot of stuff from your website, but I always want to run my ideas by you. So stuff like I was thinking about, never take the first offer, call Wendy first. Something along those lines inside of your ads.
Don't talk to the insurance company.
Yeah.
You know, that's the biggest thing. Jesus, don't give a recorded statement, that kind of stuff.
Gotcha. Yeah, those are things we can put in the ads, and people will take that as, hey, she's giving me something already.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's the easiest way to go.
I like it.
Yeah, the first rule of sales is
value.
These
insurance companies, because they basically make people, they will get people to do recorded statements, and people, most people really don't want to sue. Like this whole idea of people are just super litigious, they're really not. I have a lot of people that I find out, that they're hurt, but they really don't want to, they really don't want to do anything, and then a month later they're still hurting.
Yep.
They just want the damages covered, So.
Yeah, most people, it's not. It's the insurance company has spent billions of dollars making it look like, everybody's like the lawyers of these accident chasers, and the people are just out to get money, and it's so not true.
I was rear-ended on Belcher and 60, and the young lady, she didn't even hit her brakes because she was in the middle of updating her status.
Oh my God!
And
horrible.
And I was at a stoplight. And you're right about the recorded statement because my insurance company was calling me before I even got home.
Well, and you think that your insurance company is there to help you, but they are getting a recorded statement too to try to get out of payment.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they do. They're not there for you. They're just not at all.
I didn't want to sue either, but I hired an attorney, and I just wanted all my damages, and I had things in my back, and I wanted all that taken care of. So I agree. A lot of people don't want to sue. It's an arduous process. It's time consuming. It's painful. But yeah, people just want to have fair representation and get their damages taken care of, I think, for the most part.
That's exactly correct. And then they then they realize they're hurt, because these injuries, they just show up later. They just really do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, your adrenaline's going, and of course everyone's, I'll walk away from that. That's fine, and you're like, hey.
Yeah, most people do try to walk away from it. My husband's my husband's a retired firefighter too, and we talk about it all the time. He has seen people with broken bones get up and walk away.
Yeah, shock is crazy. Yeah, shock and adrenaline.
Really banged up and hurt, and they're walking around, and then you find out, they're in bad shape in the hospital, or they have broken bones or whatever, and they're just walking around like everything was okay.
Yeah, they're trying to start the car again. Yeah.
Yeah, trying to drive again, go home, go on with your day.
Yep.
Yep. So it comes down to, how do you want to, based on your experience, how do you want to approach the campaign? Because I don't want to put you through, I don't think I will come anywhere close to what you went through with your last company. I like the broader campaign personally. That's how I like to build. But I understand clients who want to go for that very stylized click. So
I'm going to take your advice on it. I just want the phone to ring for accident cases that are good accident cases that, somebody just got into an accident recently, and they need me to represent them. That's what I'm looking for.
Gotcha. Will do. And
I'll defer to you what you think is going to, bring me in business.
Okay. Yeah. And I've got like I said, I've got both campaigns already laid out. It'll just be a time of me putting together a little bit of information in terms of the ads. The ads do take the longest part of any campaign to build.
I mean, is the amount, because right now I've been dumping $1,000 a month into the Google ads. So about cost, I mean, how does each different campaign, cost? I mean, is that going to get me anywhere? I mean,
I normally recommend $3,000 a month for PPC for personal injury. $1,000 definitely works for family law. Family law is a much cheaper clip. But I would normally recommend $3,000. I think we can try out, and that's why I want to do the broader campaigns, because I want to see if I can make $1,000 work first. And I think I can. I really do. I've worked with $1,000 campaigns before. 3,000 is where we want to get to, though. But we can grow the account.
Well, I mean, do you think if I dump right away like 3,000 into this the first month, I'll get cases in?
Yeah, I'm sure you'll get. I can't say guarantee anything, but yeah.
Yeah, I know you can't.
Yeah.
So I'd rather, instead of limping along, I would rather get something in, start moving in that direction. Because once, my reputation, a lot of my calls are, now I've been doing family law for such a long time. I really don't try hard. In fact, I turned cases away. In fact, I turned like 3 cases away or something in the past week.
Mm.
So, my reputation, once people get to see me and know who I am in personal injury, will be a lot easier. Because then, like you were talking about, they're going to be searching for my name.
Yep. So then my next question is, do you do free case evaluations?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely for personal injury. Yeah.
Then the big one that a lot of clients offer is don't pay unless you win. You don't pay unless you
always.
win.
Okay. That's right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know personal injuries, a lot of the lawyers' own money going into it or own work going into it a lot of times.
Yeah. I mean, and that whole idea of unless we win, I don't know if you want to change that around a lot, because what it is we don't recover. You don't pay us unless we get money for you.
Yep.
So it's not this all, because these people are like, well, unless we win. Well, what do you mean by win? I mean, you're talking about filing a lawsuit, and you probably don't do that anyway.
What about
but we don't recover. We don't get paid unless we recover money. Unless we get, but I don't know. Maybe you just leave it at unless we win, because people don't even know what it means anyway.
I can go along the lines, don't get paid unless you get paid, something along those lines.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
Okay.
Because that's more accurate.
There we go.
It's about that. It's about getting people, paid for all this stuff.
Gotcha. Yep. Then I have the absolute idea I'm going with. Like I said, about a week, it'll be completely put together. So we're probably looking at I'm going to try and get you started by next Wednesday, 2nd. On my side?
Yeah, I don't really want to limp along and do $1,000 a month if it's going to be like, oh, well, we're not really going to get anything. Like, I really want to get this thing going. Like, and I really want to get more cases in. Because I've been waiting a year, because I was with him for a year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, let's do the 3K then, the 3,000. Okay. I'm going to put it on your pod. It's going to be in the shared folder as well. And I think that'll get you started off really well. And then, like I said, eventually, I want to grow you to where you're spending $50,000 with me and making millions and millions of dollars. And you can't handle any cases.
And what's that?
I want to force you to hire people. That's my goal. I'm going to force you to hire people.
I would just love that. I would just love to really just be killing it in personal injury. And like I said, I'm, family law. I do it on a limited basis, but the more I do personal injury, because I've been hyper aggressive in family law, and now I can turn that into against the insurance companies, and I love it.
Yep, we fight insurance companies.
I love to sue them when I get them for bad faith and they offer some low offer, but now I get all these tenders. They just send me the tenders now because they know I'm going to file a lawsuit. But, I love it when there's one of those and it's really pure arguments and we're in there and I just love to do it.
Yep. Sometimes the insurance company is just posturing to see how serious you are, right?
That's because a lot of personal injury attorneys don't file lawsuits. So it's kind of hurt everybody.
Yeah, it's easy for them to sell. Yeah.
Most of them don't. They don't want to go to court. They blatantly say, I don't want to go to court.
Yeah, it costs money. Yeah.
Why you went? I don't know why you became an attorney. I'm
right?
missing it. I'm just missing it.
They're afraid to litigate.
I couldn't wait to be in the courtroom. I was running out. That's exactly what I wanted to do.
That's awesome.
I've been in the court now. For the past 15 years, almost daily.
That's phenomenal.
Not afraid to litigate.
No, I'm really good at it.
That's a great catchline. I think we should put that on the website actually in the content. Not afraid to litigate. I like that.
No. And I have the experience and the knowledge and and all of that. I'm really good at it, and I just tons of experience. Like I said, when you're in the courtroom all the time, and in family law in particular, because it's a moving target, so it's a lot different. It's almost like kangaroo court. So because the rules are lax, and so you got to be really super fast on your feet. You got to really really know what you're doing. So it was good to cut my teeth there.
Yeah, and there's so much variation too in family law in terms of how the judge can rule, and that can happen in an instant. And yeah.
Yeah, with personal injury, it's just a matter the juries decide your cases.
Right.
So I don't just serial run off and take somebody to trial. I mean, because what you have to do is make sure you can get a judgment, but you may not be able to if it's a third party thing. You might not be able to get your money. So it's rather complicated, and it's even more complicated because you can if you win, but if you're within 25% of this notice of proposal settlement that we do, you still have to pay fees. Mm-hmm. So it's really super complicated. And defense counsel fees are like, they're like $100,000.
Mm-hmm.
So I just love it. It's just interesting. So, but I would rather hit it hard. I just don't want to limp along. I don't know what the heck he was doing, or I just don't think they knew what they were doing.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of laziness in this account, and I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. Again, I can only apologize for him, but when I was going through, there's no reason for me to even keep it. I might as well just create my own and build you something right the first time.
Yeah, I appreciate that, and that's what because I never gave it the impression, that I just want to, limp along and I'll only keep it at $1,000. Like I never said that. So I just don't know.
Okay. I did have a question for Mike. Does Wendy have a Google My Business connected to this?
I don't believe this is connected to her Google Ads account.
It's not connected to her ads account. I'm asking if she has a Google My Business though.
Yeah, I believe so.
I think there's a Google My Business something. And then the thing that made me, even more frustrated, but it's like, what do? You just argue with somebody who's just a goober, so it's not worth it. So I tried to get all the passwords, and he was like, well, the Google My Business is the same passwords as everything else. So I sent it to Jen, and she's like, no, those don't work. So I'm like, okay, well, that's great. So that just shows that he didn't know he wasn't doing anything, and so therefore, I guess she's going to reset the passwords, I think.
Okay, good. Yeah. And is that the same story with all of our domains? Do we have any issues with that with access?
Yeah, because I sent over the list he gave me, and so apparently he doesn't even have all of the lists or doesn't even know what the logins and the passwords are. So any of the ones that you don't have, you're going to have to reset.
Okay. All right. Cool. Well, I'll work with Jen and make sure that we get all of our access and make sure that we get everything that we need. So
perfect.
And with your PPC
tomorrow I'm out for my birthday, but I'll be checking my email. If you need me, for anything, I'll go ahead and respond. Obviously I want to get this going.
So I had one more question for you. You get a free tracking number with the PPC campaign. Would you like it? You don't have to have it. It would be something for you to have on there.
What is it? What is it? Oh, to see
a tracking number. Basically, it'll record the calls for you. Like I don't have to listen to them. You can just tell me not to, and I'll never touch them. But it gives you the opportunity to go back and review your leads and see if they're good or not. It's just a tracking number for PPC. It'll dynamically change when your website comes up if they come from a paid click.
Do you think I need that?
Not necessarily, no. And it's depending on how a lot of my lawyers don't like to take it, but I like to offer it.
Yeah.
The main reason behind it.
No, I don't think so because I can't record people. It's kind of funky, so.
Yep. Okay. So no tracking number.
Mm-hmm.
Easy enough. And I will work with Mike on getting Google Tag Manager set up and analytics.
Well, perfect.
All right, Wendy, thank you for taking the time with us. We just wanted to go over the strategy and make sure that we're still in sync and we're hitting all the areas that we're focused on. And once we get all of our, we've experienced login issues before with prior companies, and I'm fully confident that we'll get through that. We'll try not to bother you on your birthday, and happy birthday, by the way.
Thank you very much.
Share birthday weekend with my wife.
I'm very stressed out about not being in here, but this happens every time. So.
And it's on a Friday, so you only get so many of those. So make sure you do it.
Well, it's actually Saturday. I'm just taking a Friday.
Oh, there you go. Even better. Even better.
You and my wife have the same birthday.
Awesome.